The mission of Sacred Heart education is to transform our world with God's love. During the Theology Capstone Project, students are invited to look back on their years at Villa Duchesne and reflect on what they've learned and how they will use their education to make a difference in the world. Each senior is asked to present to our community a project that answers the question, how will I reveal the heart of Jesus in the broken world? We share these projects with you in hopes that you too will be inspired by each of our graduates and that together we will radiate God's love in the world.
To me, the world is broken because hatred and suffering run rampant and divisions force people away from one another. For my project, I answered the prompt of, how can you bring the heart of Jesus into the broken world? By making a plaster casting of my hand and painting it with symbols representing my experiences and who I am as a person. The idea is that, through my experiences, I can connect to other people, touching their hearts and healing them through love. The hand is colorful and contains symbols representing both my blessings and my shortcomings, and the base is painted silver to represent how the world can seem beautiful at times and gray and dim at others. I'm not perfect, but I can still help others through connection and love.
My excitement about the world is how I will reveal the heart of Jesus to the brokenness around me. All of my excitement built up is the happiness that's inside me and what causes me to want to share it with everyone I cross paths with during this life. Having the energy to share this feeling of pure happiness is what keeps me going. Excitement lets me know that something good is coming, and I know that all good comes from God. I chose the image of a smiley face as a symbol to show my everyday mood as I go through life wanting to do better and spread joy.
For me, the way to spread the heart of Jesus to a broken world is through joy. I see brokenness in the world in small ways, such as people feeling sad or left out, and I think that I can make an attempt to heal this by spreading joy and happiness to other people. The photograph of the tree in the center of the poster represents joy to me. The surrounding drawings show my interpretations of joy and my efforts to spread this joy to others. I can spread joy by doing small acts, such as spending time comforting someone, sharing a smile with someone, or having a conversation with them.
This trio of paintings is a rendition of a dead field growing new life. The image of the dead field represents our broken world, and the storm in the background is evil creeping in. In the second painting, the storm has passed and new life has started to grow. This is symbolic for kindness returning. Small acts of kindness can completely change a life. These changes can spark a chain reaction that spreads to a larger community. Once kindness has done its work, people will feel inspired to make real change in our world. This growth of kindness is shown in the third painting through the blossoming flowers. Something so small, like a flower, can represent something truly beautiful and change an entire life.
For my final project, I chose to represent revealing the heart of Jesus in a broken world with light. For me, this light is happiness and laughter. The light flows through the painting, covering up much of the canvas, and then there is a broken side. The broken side is dark and harsh, with broken mirror pieces to represent all that is broken in the world. The light is larger because light can always drive out darkness, no matter how dark it may seem in the world.
For my project, I created the idea of how negativity creates darkness in our world. We as a society tend to look at the negatives rather than the positives. The shadow box represents the darkness that is created by the negatives and contains negative words and events that have either happened in my life or that I have witnessed. Overlapping the background, there are Christmas lights that form a path to represent how I've gone through life using different words or actions of positivity to get through the toughest of times. This represents how my actions and words of positivity help shine through the darkness of the broken world.
My project is demonstrating the importance of female relationships and women's work in the world on making our planet more closely resemble God's kingdom. I believe that through building up and supporting women to be the best version of themselves will allow them to achieve the great things that God has intended for them. I believe that God speaks and inspires all of us to create change and to carry on the work of the women before us, and that one does not have to be famous to do this. I believe that through building on the work these women started and being the best friend and woman I can be will reveal God's love, as when we love and support one another, we reveal each other's belovedness by God and our ability to do great things. I will reveal the heart of Jesus in our broken world through the care and conservation of God's creation, which ultimately will help the poor and vulnerable. Using quotes to set the framework and pictures to juxtapose care and beauty with destruction and greed. My hope is to get the students and teachers to act and stop the degradation of the Earth's natural environment. Humans must begin to live in harmony with nature, ensure that there is a biological diversity, work to create renewable energy sources, reduce pollution and wasteful consumption. My goal is to get people to understand that if we can be a part of the solution, not part of the problem, and that caring for the planet is what Jesus would want us to do because it helps the poorest and most marginalized.
For my final project, I chose to represent revealing the heart of Jesus in a broken world by shining a spotlight on goodness. On one side of my project, there is chaos and articles showcasing all of the danger and destruction in our world. On the other side is simple acts of kindness. The spotlight is shifting from darkness and destruction over to good. In our world, it has become a huge problem to only show all of the horrible things that are going on in our world instead of all the good. We need to represent all of the goodness as much as we do the bad. This will help people see Jesus' heart in our broken world and motivate them to continue to spread God's love.
A meaningful conversation with the people I love is how I believe I will reveal the heart of Jesus in our blessed and broken world. A face-to-face conversation is not the same as texting or talking on the phone. I feel you can be fully present face-to-face with no distractions. The people I've chosen to make a collage of are the special ones in my life who I feel are most attentive in the conversations that we have. I am able to share my gifts, values, and passions with these people in my life.
I believe pictures can mean 1,000 words or emotions. My project is a photo album with people who have helped shape me into the person I am today, and to take those values that they have shared with the world and use them in the lessons they have taught me in the future to help better myself, others, and my relationship with God. Looking at these people reminds me of the good in the world, see God like I never have, and make me feel that I should help others as they have helped me.
For my project, I wanted to show how I reveal the heart of Jesus to a broken world through little acts of kindness. Each flower on the page is supposed to symbolize one little act of kindness, and while one flower on its own doesn't seem like a lot, when you put all the flowers, all the little acts of kindness together, you get something truly beautiful. In our world today, it is important to remember that we don't always have to be these amazing people who do huge things for others all the time. Sometimes it is the little things we do that make the biggest impacts on others' lives. The one red flower in the palm of the hand represents my heart. It doesn't matter what we do or who we choose to show kindness to. All that's important is that it comes straight from the heart.
Since we are in quarantine and can't see any of our friends, I thought that it would be a fun project to write letters to all my classmates to let them know that even though we may not get to spend the last few weeks of senior year together, we will always be connected through our bond as Sacred Heart sisters. I wrote each of my classmates a letter that is unique to them and the relationship that I have formed with them over the past 4 years at Villa. However, due to the mail service being slowed because of COVID-19, some of my classmates who are out of state did not receive their letters in time to send me a selfie before this project was due. So they got an email from me as well. I encourage everyone to write letters to their loved ones because it makes you realize how grateful you are for all the wonderful people in your life.
My project is a collage of pictures of just some of the people in my life who have impacted me somehow. I believe you can learn lessons about life through the people you meet. Whether your experiences are negative or positive, there is always room for us to grow as an individual. What is important is showing pure kindness and compassion to all the people you meet in your life.
For my project, I decided to do a little improvisation on the piano. Music is a gift given to humans by God, who is the source of music. Now, humans create music to heal our hearts and essentially the broken world. Music allows our hearts to become vulnerable and push out any emotions that bottle inside of us. Creating music heals an individual because it is like crying. While crying, emotions are let loose. The same process is happening while creating music. The listeners are also being healed by hearing the beauty of the music and letting emotions leave themselves as well.
A smile goes a long way. My project represents how I believe I can best show the love of God to the world. However, I made it more personal by representing how I would show God's love to those within my world. I created a video of smiles. The people who are smiling in the video are all of those individuals that have loved and impacted me. I wanted to show those around me that even on their worst days, there will always be better ones to follow. So please enjoy, and I hope you learn a thing or two.
We are reminded daily of the social ills that impact our world. War, poverty, racism, envy, and abuse influence society in many ways. I think there is such an emphasis put on negativity because we are afraid of recognizing the beautiful aspects of life. I will reveal the heart of Jesus in our broken world by acknowledging the good that I see every day. While there are many social ills that cause pain and suffering, it is important to understand that God has also granted us many blessings.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. I chose to create my project by covering my bedroom doors with photos from a variety of times in my life. These represent how I will use my perspective and experiences in combination with that of others to bring hope into our broken world. I created a video of these doors so that you can see it from up close and afar. I use these doors every day, which is symbolic how every day I will have to work to share my experiences and listen to other people's to spread hope.
For my senior project, I took a 1-second video every day in 2019, condensing an entire year into 8 minutes. In 2019, so many crazy and amazing things happened. I became an aunt, I traveled, I spent countless days with my best friends, celebrated birthdays, got a job, received my junior ring, started my senior year, and so many great things in between. When you look at the world from afar, all we see is brokenness, letting the bad moments overshadow the good ones. However, life is lived moment by moment, and when we add up the tiny happy moments that we often overlook and take for granted, it shows that they are greater than the negative ones we tend to focus on.
Growing up, I was not fascinated by Disney Channel tween stars or teen heartthrobs, but rather by strong leaders who spearheaded movements that changed the quality of life for certain groups of people. In comparing my two-part project, the first being my change collage that I made in art sophomore year that includes various protest posters, and my second being my change poster I created reflecting on the attributes of leaders that led such movements, you will see the progression of my understanding as to why I was so interested in and inspired by courageous leaders. I plan to reveal the heart of Jesus in our broken world through the embodiment of the leadership attributes that I incorporated into my project. In being a passionate leader, I hope to empower other individuals to be their truest selves.
For my senior project, I decided to construct a foam globe and prototype of a prosthetic hand to represent how to help heal our broken world. Presence. The pigs sticking out of the mini globe are examples of brokenness in our world. Sexism, racism, classism, and also more specific events such as the war crisis in Syria. The specific events such as this one correspond directly to where they are occurring in the world. Grabbing the world with an unfinished hand is symbolic. Yes, it is not aesthetically pleasing, but that is for a reason. Healing our broken world is a process, and will never be entirely finished or completed. I chose to build this prototype of a prosthetic hand because I wanted to demonstrate how physically being there, presence, can make a huge difference and impact.
My senior project is about this metaphor that I once read online about how in an unlit football stadium, the human eye can recognize a match being lit all the way from the other side of the line. And this really struck out to me because my project is all about the hard work of being a good person and how even if it seems unsurmountable, like an entire unlit football stadium, you can still make the world a better place because the light breaks up the darkness, which is represented in the mosaics I did. And the darkness of the unlit football stadium in the image is supposed to represent the systematic issues that seem insurmountable yet can be overcome if each person tries.
I see light in our broken world through the youth and future generations of our society. My project reflects how the brain developing over time can lead us to light. Since the majority of human development occurs during childhood, I believe that we can raise our children with ideas that will create a more accepting, inclusive society where all can live in harmony. Although my faith in older generations is mediocre, I truly believe that with the correct upbringing, our children and those to follow will bring light to our world of brokenness.
I will reveal the heart of Jesus by using my love for connecting with audiences to show the importance of being good, truthful, and honest, just like God. Through dance, I have found a passion for communicating authentic messages. I love that for each person, dance can bring about a truthful realization within themselves, and that is my goal for each dance I perform, to inspire honest confrontation. I challenge you to view my performance as a journey of self-realization. I similarly want to translate this transparency to my future profession in marketing and advertising. I represented this in my creation of the introduction to my performance. I hope you will enjoy my project and that it will inspire you to be good, truthful, and honest wherever you need it most in your life.
I believe that the way we can work towards healing our broken world is opening ourselves up to being vulnerable in front of others. I made the outside of this box black to represent the brokenness of our world that is created by different biases. The yellow ribbon is meant to symbolize how there is always light in the midst of darkness. Once the lid is removed, the box is supposed to fall open to reveal the colorful programs inside. I chose to have the inside of the box be covered in theater programs of shows that I have seen because I feel the most vulnerable and accepted when I'm rehearsing for a show. I hope to bring this same state of mind to more parts of my life in order to create more positive relationships with those around me and maybe change the minds of those who have hurtful biases in our world.
The way that I can share the heart of Jesus in a broken world is by fighting for social justice. In today's world, many are still fighting for basic rights that they are entitled to, and our world is spiraling down a never-ending black hole of violence, oppression, racism, and much more. I know that I myself cannot cure racism, fix the climate issues, stop the oppression of others, and end the cycle of violence, but I can spread love by contributing to a community who is fighting for that justice.
Faith is an important part of my life. My project represents the way in which I can reveal the heart of Jesus to the world as a Villa girl. Along with the aspect of the Sacred Heart emblem, I added pictures of my classmates, friends, and family to the border. I did this to show that including the goals and criteria in our lives does not necessarily have to always be in a religious manner. Though that is a part of it, the love surrounded by that is what is most important to me. I will reveal the heart of Jesus in our broken and blessed world by spreading the love I've received from Villa to each person I meet.
I think that beauty is an important aspect in the world. It is a way I can bring the heart of Jesus to a broken world. I did a self-portrait to show the beauty I have within myself and surrounded myself with colorful flowers and things in nature to also show the beauty of the world. I painted myself a different color to show that non-traditional ideas of beauty are just as great and should be just as valuable as the social norm.
For my senior project, I painted 4 trees that resemble my 4 years at Villa. Each painting also connects to one moment from each year that helped me grow into the person I am today. Freshman year, I compared myself to a seed, and my moment is my homily that we wrote in religion class. Sophomore year, I'm a seedling, and the moment that was most important was winning state in field hockey. For junior year, I painted a baby tree. This year, I started becoming more responsible and had a deeper focus on my academics. For senior year, I'm a tree. My moment from senior year is losing state. This taught me if you really want something, you have to work for it until it comes. I realized that every year has brought the learning of a life lesson that has made me stronger and more compassionate person I am today. All of these experiences from my years at Villa helped me reveal the heart of Jesus in our broken world.
For my project, I chose to do a tree showing the roots. Each root is someone or something in my life that has led me to become the person I am today. Every rock in the bag symbolizes a negative thought I've had. On your way to the tree, drop 1 or more rocks off and watch the weight of your bag change. In your day-to-day life, dropping off one thought or action can make a major impact.
My calmness is my way of trying to bring comfort to people's emotional pain, to show the heart of Jesus to the brokenness of people. This is a self-portrait of myself surrounded by a few items that symbolize my source of brokenness. The clock represents time lost. The driver's book represents my lack of self-reliance. The picture is my fear of making huge mistakes that can ruin my life. The bear is my loss of childhood, and my uniform symbolizes my stress due to school. I am smiling in this picture to show that you can be calm in the middle of chaos.
My piece is called An Unmarked Grave. This is a mixed media art piece. Thousands of people have died trying to cross the southern border, and there are still many more who go unaccounted for. While the art is for your interpretation, I think that to me this signifies a larger issue. I wanted to focus on the crisis at the border, but this signifies something larger. This piece signifies our perception of the other and how we treat each other. I will try to fix this broken world in so many small ways, and one of the ways is through treating others with respect and dignity.
For my project, I created a roadmap of my spiritual journey at Villa. My first destination of my roadmap stands for when I came to Villa freshman year and I began to become interested in doing service for others. The next destination stands for the summer after freshman year when I went to San Diego for my service trip at the St. Madeleine Sophie Center, where I worked with adults with special needs. The boot stands for my service trip to Houston when I worked with hurricane victims the summer after sophomore year. Next, the Golden Gate Bridge stands for the service trip I went to in San Francisco when I worked with the homeless. The final destination, the Glass Slipper, stands for the Cinderella Project, which is an organization that collects prom dresses for girls in foster care, and that I have continued to work with since junior year. Through all these experiences and the people I met during them, I realized that in order to reveal the heart of Jesus to a broken world, I have to be willing to see the humanity in all people and not let what I see on the outside define a person.
My project serves as a representation of how I spread God's light in the world through participating in figure skating. The process of both being coached and then becoming a coach myself was the idea I focused on. The people shown in my project are coaches, friends, and the young students I have taught. The character traits that I have learned and obtained are also displayed in the collage. I wanted to show the people who have allowed me to find my gifts and passions and share them.
You have no rival, you have no equal, now and forever, God, you reign. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the name above all names. What a beautiful name it is, what a beautiful name.
For my project, I decided to make a clay heart that is completely black. If you lift the top of the heart, however, the inside is bright and colorful. To me, the black outside of the heart symbolizes our broken world, as it represents people who cling to racism, sexism, homophobia, and other harmful prejudices. The colorful inside of the heart, however, symbolizes the goodness that exists in everyone. In order to bring the heart of Jesus to this broken world, we must work to bring out the goodness in people. Instead of giving up and shutting out people with hateful beliefs, we need to be patient with these people in order to teach them why their beliefs are hateful, to help them reject these beliefs.
We all know that our world is broken. We see it daily. Even so, we see small blossoms of hope and change. To me, these glimpses are represented through storytelling. The art of a powerful story is a force to be reckoned with. It roots itself in its viewers, and then seeds of inspiration, emotion, reflection, and thought are sprouted. My story, along with yours, impacts the world around us. They reflect a greater truth, and through them our world changes. I created a small contained vase of flowers, showing that the beauty and wonder that comes from stories is contained. The world surrounding it is still broken. I portray my story through my acting, which is represented through the musical and play programs the flowers are made of. The vase that they are placed in is a sphere, symbolic of the earth, and inside it is green paint, jewels, pearls, diamonds, and most importantly, books. Based at the bottom of the bowl, the books are surrounded by other riches demonstrated by my childhood, which circled German folklore told to me by my grandparents. The green paint, a symbol of growth and renewal, connects the riches to the flowers. They are growing out of my childhood love for storytelling and built on a foundation based on love and family.
When asked how I will reveal the Sacred Heart of Jesus in our broken world today, I felt almost intimidated by the complexity of the question. After thinking about it, however, I decided that by starting with simple, small steps and gradually building up from there, trying to heal society around us will not seem as impossible. As a result, for my project, I decided to depict how I show love to those closest to me. Then, I widened it to the greater community, and finally, I concluded it on a large scale with my service trip to Lourdes, France. Through these tears, revealing the love of God, and in turn trying to heal the world around us, is possible.
I want to be the chain reaction that ignites goodness into the world. My project accurately demonstrates how I want to reveal the heart of Jesus by doing small, kind acts every day that will go beyond just the naked eye. My focus is specifically on the youth and those younger than me, so I can be a role model and inspire them to be the best versions of themselves. My project is separated into two parts, those who have inspired me and those I want to inspire. The dominoes represent the domino effect that will occur when I do this, and there is no stopping it once it starts. You too can start a chain reaction bigger than yourself.
For my senior project, I created a canvas wrapped in the pattern of our skirt covered with all different types of logos representing Villa. Each logo came from a different type of clothing piece I wore over the 14 years at Villa. I wrote goals and criteria next to them representing the 5 goals and how they have helped me through all these years. Sewing the logos into the skirt represents the way I've sewn the goals into my life. I hope when you observe this project that you understand the impact Villa has made on my life. And as I go on into the world, even if I'm not truly in my uniform, I will always have the goals and that logo sewn into my heart.
For my senior project, I wanted to emphasize the role of social activism in revealing Jesus' heart in a broken, unjust world. First, each of the shapes I painted reminds me of shards of glass resembling this brokenness. Next, I chose 7 quotes, each one by an activist who I admire, and each connecting to one of the 7 themes of Catholic social teaching. I chose to use powerful quotes in order to illustrate the impact of our words in aiding a broken world. Lastly, I imprinted my hand on the canvas to depict my solidarity with the activists' words, and to display how each one of us has the potential to leave our mark on the world.
I will reveal the heart of Jesus in a broken world through empathy. After taking a service trip to Haiti, I realized that I must first understand the extent to which the world is broken before I can try to make it better. I chose to draw 2 photographs I captured in Haiti that have had an impact on my life. Seeing these situations allowed me to gain a greater understanding of the world around me, which in turn enabled me to gain a new perspective on the power of empathy in our world today.
For my senior project, I centered on the theme of caring. I believe that the brokenness in our world is that people are so busy, do not live in the moment, and therefore do not care for each other as much as they should. In the center of my project, I drew a symbol for caring with a yellow background to represent the good in our world. I chose the pictures around the symbol very intentionally so that when I look back at the pictures, I am reminded not necessarily of the photo, but of that particular moment where my happiness was at a peak and where I was living in the moment. The photos also represent the people, places, and things in my life that care for me. I placed these pictures on a black background to represent the brokenness in our world and cut jagged frames around the photos to symbolize that although these moments were some of my best moments of the last 4 years at Villa, life is not perfect.
I made a collage that shows all the influences in my life that have led me to want to become a doctor. On the 4 corners of my board, there are 4 pink hearts with the words God, family, friends, and Villa. These are the 4 major influences in my life, and the photos include these people who I love. The words live, love, faith, and hope symbolize the qualities I want to embody in my future to reveal the Sacred Heart of Jesus in our broken worlds.
It can be very hard to keep a positive mindset when there is so much apparent negativity in our world. My project represents how everything holds some bit of joy, beauty, and love. You just have to make an effort to look for it. Our world is broken, but it is also blessed, and for me the two are one and the same. I believe that there are blessings in all forms of brokenness. It can be easy to recognize that everything is broken and accept the negative mindset that accompanies that outlook, but it only takes one little spark to illuminate the blessings that lie within the brokenness. In my project, the lit candle illuminates everything and everyone that is a blessing in my life. Through these people and things, the heart of Jesus is revealed to me and influences and inspires me to be the same for other people.
I reveal the heart of Jesus in a broken world through dance. Whether it be through praise dance or through hip-hop, I'm able to express my feelings through my dance movements. Specifically with my video, I'm showcasing many of the dance performances I've been in over the years. Some of the videos are from when I was dancing at Villa performances, and some are from when I was with my dance company. Since I started off mainly doing praise dance, I was able to build a connection with God from a young age from learning about Him through dance. For me, it was a good way to show my relationship with God and also share the connection with other people. Now, I know not all the dance I do is praise dance, but even with the other types of dance that I do, I'm still able to use the music to give off the vibe or feeling that I'm trying to achieve.
Hi, it's Betsy, and I'm going to tell you about my senior theology project. When I look at the brokenness in the world, I see division where there should be unity. Thus, I can reveal the heart of Jesus, the love of God, by bringing together perceived opposites in order to reveal the truth that we are all more similar than we are different. In my project, I made this idea physical by painting natural designs on my calculator. I wanted to show that ideas like art and mathematics or technology and nature can, in fact, exist in harmony and are not inherently opposites. If we can all look for the harmonious unity that exists between all living things, and that we are all created with love by God, we can bring love and healing into our broken world. Thank you.
For my project, I am showing how I will reveal the love of God in this broken world by being happy and making others happy. By sharing my happiness and joy with others, I hope to make others feel the same happiness that I do. I hope to make other people smile and feel the love of God in this broken world.
For my project, I created how my heart has grown in a broken world by focusing on the positive aspects in life. As more words and actions appear on my project, my heart grows bigger and stronger, revealing itself to a broken world. In my life, my heart has grown to reflect the heart of Jesus by becoming more engaged in service, friendships, and my faith. My project shows how the things I cherish contain positive aspects which help shine in this broken world.
Beauty, hope, and nature are expressed through this painting that reveals the heart of Jesus to a broken world. The quote, "I can do all things through him who gives me strength," from Philippians 4:13, is inspirational and gives people confidence and guidance to never give up no matter how difficult things become, and to always have faith. The sunset background with the reflection on the ocean helps people to know that there is a God expressed in the beauty of nature and instills peace and gratitude.
I thought it would make the most sense if, for my project, I created it with one of those passions that I found here at Villa, ceramics. The prompt for this project, "How do you reveal the heart of Jesus in a broken world?" was daunting to me, so I thought the best way to go about this question was to start small, with my own perfections. I believe that by accepting my own brokenness, I can come to better myself and show the heart of Jesus by letting my true self shine. The cracks in this piece are symbolic of those things that make me feel broken, but they add character to the piece and make it unique. Once I can accept these things, I believe that I can see others' brokenness in the same way and develop an empathy that I think is missing in the world.
I plan to reveal the heart of Jesus in a broken world by using the gifts God has given me, being a mediator, a good listener, and a peacemaker, to help emphasize the importance of healthy relationships. This video shows how important healthy relationships have been for my life. These relationships are the core of my life, and I am happiest when I am with these people. They have taught me so much, and I plan to use the knowledge I have gained from them to spread the importance of a healthy relationship.
Service is a two-way street. What you give is given back to you in so many ways. Service is giving of yourself, but what is so interesting is what you receive in return. For my final project, I decided to depict what service means to me. I painted 3 symbols, which are very personal to me, that represent my service to others. These symbols not only represent the people I have served, but they represent those who have served me. My first symbol is the Golden Gate Bridge. This shares our Villa service trip to San Francisco in June of 2019. It is a symbol that expresses how we served others and the difference these people made in my life. The second symbol is a picture of helping hands. These hands show the meaning of service. The third symbol is a heart surrounded by paint hand marks, representing how I will continue to serve others through teaching. The helping hand can also show my desire to be in early childhood education. I have been at Passport to Summer, Villa Summer Camp, as a counselor for 2 years now, and I will be a team lead this summer. It is important to me to teach others. Villa has taught me so much about service to others, and I know I will carry this forward throughout my life.
In my senior project, I decided to reveal the heart of Jesus in a broken world by smiling. I love drawing, so it was clear that I would draw people who are smiling and have influenced my life. The 3 people I chose to base my project around is my cousin Courtney, my mom, and my yaya. They have inspired me to see how change is happening in different generations. I believe that in order to experience a big change, we must start by just simply smiling.
For my project, I made a sun to represent being someone's ray of sunshine. The artifacts in the middle represent the most impactful things that I have partaken in, which have developed me into the person that I am today. The artifacts are based around service, my family, and places I have been. Through these experiences, I have learned the value of being the light in the dark and will apply this to reveal the heart of Jesus in this broken world.
For my project, I chose to see God in our broken world through laughter. The dark and broken world in the flipbook represent war, racism, poverty, and disease. The Band-Aid represents the laughter or the jokes that people make to make people laugh. Finally, the whole world in color represents the community being built and the world coming together. The whole flipbook represents how I see God through laughter.
When answering the question, how will you reveal the heart of Jesus in our broken world, I wanted it to be an answer that pertained to my 17-year-old life. I think that revealing one's true self into the world will help fix its brokenness. I created a photo album with everyone in my life that allows me to be my true self. In these photos, one can see my family, friends, and I genuinely happy to be around each other, and if there was more of this in our world, I think it would be less broken.
My project is a representation of forgiveness. The brokenness in the world is all the hate between people, racial groups, religions, and countries. Small acts of forgiveness shown to others can help spread love around the world. Forgiveness can heal the wounds of relationships and mend those that are broken. The image I have chosen is a brick to a balloon, to represent the weight of a grudge from the past transforming into an uplifting force, such as a balloon.
In a broken world, you can be a light of hope and happiness purely by finding the good in everything. In art and in life, you can choose to find the good or focus on the bad and have it pull you away from living out your full potential. My project represents multiple metaphors and ideas that reflect this very idea. Towards the top of the project, there are universal symbols of happiness like a star, peace sign, sun, rainbow, and a butterfly. As you hit bottom in life and on the canvas, your perception changes and you start to focus on negative symbols rather than the positive. You start to see the money bags and a devil that appears to be happy. These can be interpreted as signs of greed and evil. With the words pursuit of happiness in the bottom corner, it represents that everyone is in this pursuit, but it depends on your idea of happiness and if it's based on materialistic items or people and places.
Everyone has dreams. Even though you might not know what your lifelong dreams are yet, my project helps you get on the right track by asking questions about your life, your motivations, and your happiness. I have a deep curiosity to understand others and why people act the way they do. I want to show that everyone is beautifully unique and our individuality is what makes us who we are. My dream jar asks specific personal questions to help you think about your future plans, goals, and hopes. I hope that people can tap into the depths of their individuality and explore their own personal definitions of faith and spirituality, because I believe that if everyone figures out who they really are, each individual contribution can work in sync to heal the brokenness in our world.
I chose to write a story for my final project because I believe stories are an essential human form of communicating our hopes and struggles. My project depicts two characters who represent all of us in certain ways. Archer struggles with the weight of the brokenness of the world in his personal life. We are all touched by this brokenness. Even if I haven't personally experienced all of Archer's pains, I am still affected by sin and by the imperfections of the world. But we are called to not be dragged down by it. Like Marina, we are called to show love to those in need. I believe that relationships are a crucial aspect to spirituality. Since God is love, I believe we connect to God every time we participate in a loving relationship. So I have found friends and family to be essential on my spiritual journey. This is why Marina, as Archer's sister, can have such a positive impact on his life, even just through a conversation. Because she acts on her love for her brother, she shows him the heart of Jesus. I use this story to show that while the brokenness is all around us, there is hope, as through loving relationships we can overcome the hurts in our lives.
Will you come and follow me if I but call your name? Will you go where you don't know and never be the same? Will you let my love be shown? Will you let my name be known? Will you let my life be grown in you and you in me? Will you love the you hide if I but call your name? Will you quell the fear inside and never be the same? Will you use the faith you found to reshape the world around through my sight and touch and sound?